Hello, everybody. I'm Simon Preston, and welcome to Reggae Boyz Commentary. This is the platform where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. Everybody doing okay? Certainly hope that you're doing okay, and we can get into this video in particular. The usual rules, you all know the very basic things. Do hit the like button, and after doing so, hit the subscribe button as well to Reggae Boyz Commentary. That in itself would be greatly appreciated. So we look forward to that. All right. And then we can get the show on the road. So that will be fantastic to see everybody. How's everybody doing? Let me know, you guys, as well in the chat as well. Where are you guys watching this video from? Which part of the globe? Yeah, do comment where you're watching this video from. Looking forward to hearing from you guys intently so that we can be able to get into things. So this video, what is it about? What is it that we're going to discuss? What is it specifically I'm highlighting? I'm highlighting Jamaican coaches over the past 34 years, basically, and showing you that every coach that we've had since then, there's been something about them that they have achieved, something that we haven't done in a while or something that we have achieved. And it's important to highlight the work of our coaches because they've taken on this job, being the head coach of Jamaica. We know the expectation, and just to highlight what they have done and achieved. Point, I will not be dealing with, for example, somebody that had an interim for 2 matches, for an example, but everybody else since 1990 thereabouts, they've had the role in itself on a full-time basis, or on a full-time basis. So firstly, I want to credit George Penna for his work in 1962 and heading back to 65 to 67, the first time that Jamaica competed in World Cup qualifying. So the first time that Jamaica won a World Cup qualifier was under the tutelage of head coach George Penna at the time. The only, Jamaica's in that time frame in the 60s as well, having Antoine Tassi from Haiti, George Hamilton, George Thompson, George Prescott. There was also Otmar Calda as well from Germany. Also, Jackie Bell was the head coach of Jamaica in the 70s as well. We had Ali McNabb, Delroy Scott, Jeffrey Maxwell, and we come forward into 1990. And yes, this man had the job for Jamaica in the mid-1980s, but I decided to start at 1990 for a reason, and that is what we're going to get into right now. So the man that was the head coach of Jamaica, and what we're going to start is with the calendar year, as made mention about 1990, going all the way to 1994. It's none other than Carl Brown. Carl Brown, as head coach of Jamaica, the first Jamaican coach, the first Reggae Boyz coach to lead Jamaica to a Caribbean Cup title. Jamaica won the Caribbean Cup in 1991. Not only that, Jamaica as well finished third in the CONCACAF Gold Cup in 1993. The first time that Jamaica had a podium finish and walking away with a medal from a CONCACAF Gold Cup came through Carl Brown. Yes, that is right. Carl Brown as head coach of the Reggae Boyz. Let's go swiftly on to 1994, shall we? Where we had that man himself, Rene Moyes, the professor, from 1994 to the year 2000. So much things to make mention about, right? We're talking about qualifying for the World Cup. We're talking about winning the Caribbean Cup in 1998. We're talking about finishing fourth in the Gold Cup also in 1998 as well. Countless, the 49-game unbeaten run from 1995, which stretched all the way past his tenure up to 2001 in the middle period of Clovis De Ali Vera's reign. So it just goes to show what he was able to accomplish, and rightly so. For me, I think he has an order of distinction and certainly an outstanding body of work that he did on the island of Jamaica. And that is none other than the man himself, Rene Moyes. Up next is Clovis De Ali Vera, who took charge of the Jamaica men's national team from 2000 to 2001. Now, under Clovis De Ali Vera, we did something that we never did before, and that was win 4 World Cup qualifiers in a row in a semi-final round of World Cup qualifying. Remember, Jamaica were in a group with Honduras, El Salvador, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Jamaica won 4 straight games in that semi-final round under Clovis De Ali Vera. In the final round, well, we had that 1-0 victory over Trinidad and Tobago, that 1-1 draw over Honduras, that 0-0 over the United States at the National Stadium. We also, of course, had that 2-1 win over Trinidad and Tobago. And you know who was on the opposite bench shouting instructions for Trinidad and Tobago? The man himself, Rene Moyes. So that was 2000 to 2001, Clovis De Ali Vera. Up next is Sebastian Lazaron. And with Sebastian Lazaron, like I said, folks, I'm not counting Sebastian Lazaron's interim few games in 2000 or Maron Gordon's 2 games in 2022. We're talking about persons that had sustained runs within the team. Sebastian Lazaron, the first time that Jamaica won an away game on Central American soil in World Cup qualifying came through Sebastian Lazaron. September 2004, Jamaica 3, El Salvador 0. A brace from Marlon King and a goal from Micah Hyde. Yep, that is right, Sebastian Lazaron. Up next, we go to the end of 2004, which stretched into the next calendar year and beyond as well, through Wendell Dowell. Jamaica's longest unbeaten run in this calendar year, in this century, I should say, the 21st century, stretched to some 14 or 15 games. That is the stretch of this run under Wendell Dowell. Under Wendell Dowell, and specifically, we had an unbeaten run that stretched from that time. It's from his first game, which was against the St. Martin team in the Digicel Caribbean Cup in 2004, all the way to the CONCACAF Gold Cup against South Africa in 2005. So that's what that stretch meant. Jamaica won the Caribbean Cup, and Jamaica got to the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup in 2005. Jamaica had 12-0 victories over St. Martin, an 11-1 victory over the US Virgin Islands, a 3-1 victory over Haiti, a 5-0 victory over French Guyana, and in the final round, 1-0 over Trinidad, and rather 2-1 over Trinidad and Tobago, 1-0 over Barbados, and 1-0 over the Cubans. Bora Milinovich, 2006 to 2007. Bora Milinovich helped Jamaica to win the Lunar New Year Cup of 2007. Jamaica took on the Hong Kong 11s in the semi-finals, won on penalties. And in the final, Jamaica took on China, and guess what? Won as well. And as I've always said, for me, success, a definition of success, is trophies or medals, and that is exactly what Jamaica did by winning the 2007 edition of the Lunar New Year Cup under Bora Milinovich. We go on to John Barnes. We know that Coach Theodore Whitmore had the interim basis for 2 friendlies, and then after that had 3 World Cup qualifiers, but we'll get to Coach Whitmore shortly. Under John Barnes, Jamaica went unbeaten. That is right, Jamaica didn't lose a single game under Coach John Barnes, and Jamaica took on the likes of Nigeria, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago. Jamaica also took on the likes of Guadeloupe as well in this run, and of course, Barbados as well in this time frame. And Jamaica defeated Panama for the first time in 4 decades under Coach John Barnes. Remember the goal scorers that day? Well, you remember Teddy Johnson, don't you? You remember Kimar Dada Daly, don't you? And of course, you remember Devon Hodges. Winfred Schaefer, who took over from Theodore Whitmore. Again, we're going to get to that, don't worry. Winfred Schaefer, 2013 to 2016. Where do we begin? A Caribbean Cup title in 2014. First time getting to a Gold Cup final in 2015, so that's a silver medal. And of course, going on, playing in 2 Copa Americas and winning the Copa Americas, winning the Americas Cup, which was a tournament, which was a match between Chile and Jamaica. Chile, of course, the Copa America champions of 2015, and Jamaica, the Caribbean Cup winners of 2014. Jamaica played Chile in a match in Viña del Mar in Estadio Sausalito. Jamaica won 2-1, thanks to goals from Joel Grant and, yep, that is right, Clayton Donaldson in a 2-1 victory. So under Coach Schaefer, Jamaica won a trophy, 2 trophies rather, and also a silver medal in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Memories that certainly that we can rekindle. And Coach Theodore Whitmore, 2007, we had friendlies in November 2007 against El Salvador and Guatemala, won those 3-0 and 2-0 respectively. Then came the World Cup qualifiers in 2008, where Theodore Whitmore took over from Rene Moyes, and Jamaica defeated Mexico 1-0, defeated Honduras 1-0, and defeated Canada by 3-0. And then he came back in 2009, and this run stretched to 2013. Jamaica won the Caribbean Cup 2010. Jamaica went to the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup in 2011. And in addition to that, Jamaica defeated the United States for the first time ever at the senior level under Coach Theodore Whitmore. And guess what? For the first time since the 2002 World Cup qualifying cycle, Coach Whitmore helped Jamaica to the final round of World Cup qualifying for the 2014 World Cup qualifying cycle. After Winfred Schaefer, Coach Whitmore came back in 2016, and Jamaica finished second in the Caribbean Cup in 2017 and second in the Gold Cup also in 2017. In 2019, Jamaica made it to the semi-finals of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. In 2021, it was a quarter-finals run. All right. Jamaica's next, you could say, first ever victory over Honduras in a World Cup qualifier. It came under Coach Whitmore in that 2-0 victory. We now go to Paul Hall, and his run, of course, was in the calendar year of 2022. And with Coach Paul Hall, Jamaica did something that Jamaica hadn't done for nearly 2 decades. What was that? And that was to win a game at home in the final round of World Cup qualifying. The last time Jamaica did that was a 1-0 victory against Trinidad and Tobago in 2001. But in Jamaica's last game of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers, Jamaica took on Honduras at home, and Jamaica won 2-1. So under Coach Paul Hall, the first manager to get a victory for Jamaica as head coach at home in World Cup qualifying in the final round of World Cup qualifying, came under Paul Hall, the first man since Clovis De Ali Vera. And Coach Heimer Hallgrimsson, almost 2 years in a spell. What happened? Well, let's discuss that, shall we? Third place in the CONCACAF Nations League, Jamaica's first ever medal in a regional competition in 7 years. A semi-final run in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Jamaica finishing at the top of their group in League A of the Nations League for the first time in history. Jamaica defeating Canada in Canada for the first time in history. And of course, as well, the amount of debutants that were given in 2023. 23 players getting an opportunity under the age of 23 years. 23-year age, 23 and younger as well. So certainly a platform has been laid. And now we say to Coach McLaren, welcome. We're ready. And we can't wait to get started come September 6th at the National Stadium against Cuba. Let's go, Jamaica. Folks, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to Reggae Boyz commentary right now.